Welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Donna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, and I am your host, Donna Campbell. Now, we had such an amazing, overwhelming response with the Healing Heart podcast that I decided to run a couple bonus episodes. So our next speaker, our next person coming up has been a dear friend of mine, but also in the world of healing, but not so much in the way that you think. We are going to be talking and sharing a little bit about what it's like to heal your money, but through taxes. Now, first, a little bit about him. Albert Corey has been in business for almost 4 decades, over 40 years, serving 25,000 business owners and saving them only $60 million. And he's worked with people such as Bill Walsh, Grant Cardone, and Tony Robbins, just to name a few of the people that he's worked with. He's an Amazon bestseller, Increasing Your Cash Flow While Drinking Coffee, one of my favorite books. And he spends time working with the Knights of Columbus. And he has a course, it's the Ultimate Business Launch Package, that shows his clients how to 20 and 30 times their income with less stress and more capital. So we're going to talk about healing our money, healing our taxes, increasing your cash flow. So welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, Albert.
Thank you, Miss Donna. By the way, everybody, you got to hang out with Donna. Whatever she says is the bomb. I got the blessing of hanging out with her a whole bunch of times, not through this little box, but everybody live and in person. We ate a whole lot of lunches together.
We have had food together.
And a whole lot of whispering on the back of the national business stages, which she is the #1 MC on some of the biggest platforms in the planet. So what she's got to tell us is the rock and roll, and she'll change your life.
Well, thank you. Well, I know when we had the conversation about you being a guest here on the Healing Heart Podcast, we talked about healing your money in a different way. And I had to say yes, because there's so much amazing information that business owners, entrepreneurs are not taking and taking in to really magnify their growth and their value. So in the healing world for you, Albert, what does it mean to really heal your money, and share with us that and how you got into doing what you do today with taxes?
I'll start off how I got turned taxes. Because I will tell you, part of healing your heart, you're just one little event from learning your passion and taking your life to the next level. Mine was in 1983. I was working with my parents after college, and Mom comes up to me, Albert, yeah, Mom, get your checkbook. Why? You owe the IRS. I go, who? Yeah, you got to pay money to the government. Well, and after that, I took tax classes, but that put me on a mission to make sure that everybody's got to know how much they pay to the I and the R and the S. And so that doesn't happen again. Because once you know with that, your heart, remember your thing is heart?
Yes.
I guarantee you, when you get that tax bill, and I've helped over like 137,000 clients, and all of a sudden you forgot that you won the lotto, and now you got to pay a shitload of money, even though I kind of minimized it. Your heart goes, right? You're having a freak attack. Well, guess what? That's healing your heart. That once you get your money together, you can live a calm life. I think more people stress out because you owe bills. Well, you owe bills and you get worried because you're not saving enough money. Either two things. You can heal your heart can I tell you the 2 ways?
Yes, please do.
You can either do the Grant Cardone approach of just go make a shitload more money than you make. And then you don't have those healing heart, your heart's got to be going, rapid firing when you need money to pay a bill. Or you make sure you start whacking out the stupid, you start living the lifestyle equal to what you're making. In other words, don't go buy a Rolls Royce working at McDonald's minimum wage.
So, right. Great advice there. But for those of the that are listening here, when you talk about taxes, what are the top 3 tips that you can share with somebody to look for to really maximize their income and create that cash flow that they are
I
desiring?
can tell you the 2 biggest things. One, and by the way, somebody came in off the street yesterday. One, make sure you get somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, that's one easiest way, Miss Donna. Make sure you get someone who knows what they're doing, because somebody came to the office, true story, out of Google. They didn't know what they're doing, and now they get an IRS letter that they owe $40,000.
Oh my goodness.
Because the guy was a hack. I call them hacks, who did whatever they could. They didn't, people, there's a lot of scumbag tax preparers will do stupid blankety blank to get you the $20,000 refund just so they can charge you $300. So make sure you know who's doing it. And number 2, make sure you know the 3 important dates in every businessman's life. Can I tell you what they are?
Yes,
First,
yes.
January 4th or early January. I say January 4th because it's the easiest way to remember it. But it really can be any time before March 15th. But I always say January 4th. But since this is running, this is January 11th, let's say January 15th. Martin Luther King Day for our people here, which is a federal holiday. Okay. Make sure you call whoever's going to do your tax returns and file an extension. Okay. Now that's going to give you have a business that's going to give you till September 15th to file. So now you're not stressing out. Oh my God, I got to get it in time. That for sure will give you definitely heart attacks, because I see a whole lot of people rushing into my office. And by the way, I like the rushing, but I don't like, rushing and I got 1,000 people backed up. And so that's one thing. Second date you must know is July 5th. Ask me why, Miss Donna, July 5th.
All right. Why July 5th?
Because 98% of the business owners never bothered to get their stuff together the year before. So on July 5th, you're now putting your papers together from, the year before, because you weren't bright enough to spend the other 7 months, 6 months, 7 months, or, you get my point, putting your papers together. Third date, and this is the crazy date, is August 5th. Now people say, well, why is August 5th?
Yeah.
Because 3 things happen on August 5th. 3 things happen. One, you call the guy up to do your return. And here's what happens a lot of times. Either A, they could be out of business, right? They could be out of business. B, they're going to tell you, they don't have time for you. Or 3, the worst thing, and it happens to me. And by the way, if you're coming to me, one thing please don't say, I ask, if I might ask you a question. Who'd you go to before and why'd you come? And the worst thing you tell me is, oh, the guy died. That happens all the time. I made this a couple of weeks ago. I made $9,000 because the guy who you went to died like a couple of weeks beforehand.
Oh my goodness.
So he needed his shit done quickly. I put my team into overdrive. He came out happily ever after. So that now you make sure that things are going to be done by the September 15th. That's why I use, remember, the August 5th as that craziest day of all.
Right.
Like that. Now you get that all smooth. You get a smooth like got me. And Don, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Your heart will be calm. Your life will be, you're not going to be going nuts. Because I see that all the time. People, hypochondria, going crazy. In your heart, you can't, when you got IRS issues, 98% of the business people that can't think and act straight, and your mind is whacked out, so you're going to go crazy. And that's where I come in, because we make sure that stuff never happens. I'm a calm, happy guy. No, right, Donnie? You never thought this is what I do for a living. That'd be the truth. right?
So, right. Absolutely.
Because that's how I built a business. See, let me tell you another trick, and it all goes back to healing hearts and goes back to tax. See, the one rule of success in business is when you be nice to people and you smile and be happy, the world comes back to you 14,000 times.
I love that. 14,000 times. I'm going to write that one down.
I got clients, listen, I got clients who came back to me, and I can tell you the funniest story about, can I tell you another crazy funny story?
Yes.
I'll relate back. So I had some lady came to me for years. It was, she said it was April 14th, April 15th, something like that. It was a rainy day. She lives about 25 minutes away from us on the freeway. So she goes, it was raining, couple of kids crying. She took them to, sorry to put it this way, a Pakistani, a CPA. She tells me this is the exact story. So she takes her kids, you had kids and they're whining and fussy and bitching, and the guy tells her to leave. Come back when the kids are quiet. So she calls me up, goes, Corey, I can never leave you. I go, why? Because I brought my kids whining, hungry, bitchy. Your team, your wife gives them crayons, coloring. You play, you ask them what's their favorite YouTube video. And by the way, that's a crazy question to ask, because they're going to give you all kinds of, true stuff like Porky Picky Pig and all kinds of little, listen, I grew up on Captain Kangaroo, okay? And now they're telling you all these shows.
That make no sense.
Wait a minute, and my kids are the just as VHS tapes came out. Barney, Jimmy Neutron, that kind of stuff. And now there's like zillions of things on YouTube that, I just thought that's funny, by the way. Anyways.
So, all right, you are here at the Healing Heart Podcast, and we are talking with our guest, Albert Corey, on how to heal your money, increase your cash flow, and reduce your taxes. We're going to take that quick sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. Welcome back here to the Healing Heart Podcast. And our guest today is Albert Corey. We've been talking and sharing a lot about healing your money, paying less taxes, and increasing your cash flow. And so, Albert, what are some of the typical results that you get for the clients that you see in maximizing, of course, maximizing cash flow, but what do you really do for them? And what benefits do you bring to the table?
Well, the benefits is I've been doing this. We've been open almost 40 years. So my benefit is, and you heard this joke all the time. I've worked with everything from lizard ranchers to porn stars and everything in between. And so what I bring to the table is there's not a whole lot of businesses, you understand, though, that I can't relate and I can't answer the questions. One of my things when I speak on the stages are, if you're in a business that I can't give you 4 tax deductions in less than a minute, I will give you $200 on the spot. No questions asked. Because I know there's deductions that nobody's going to do or not going to think of. So I'll tell you what to do and how to deduct, because I've worked with literally everything in the tax world. There's not a lot of stuff I haven't worked with or business.
So for somebody that just comes to you and you look at their taxes, what are some of your favorite ways of saving them money?
Well, first of all, make sure you're in a state. See, can I tell you another crazy story that I will tell you? One of the crazy stories, did you know that the IRS doesn't care where your corporate headquarters is? Now, you know why that's important, right? So make sure you file, if you start making the big bucks, make sure you file the tax return. your business tax return in states with no state income tax. Because if you're in a state that has state income tax, I help save somebody just by moving it from state 1 to state 2, $19,000.
Wow.
19,000.
Wow.
Another cool thing I will tell clients that you need to know is why is a tax guy like a ripe tomato?
I don't know.
Because guess what? With a ripe tomato, if you don't have a sharp knife, what's going to happen, Miss Donna? It looks like you're a healthy cook.
Yeah,
the tomato's going to go splat.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with your account with the knife. You better make sure this guy's got that sharp knife. Like, remember the old Ginza commercials on TV that he knows the deductions. It's going to go, the tomato is going to be cut smooth. The same thing with the accountant guy. Does he know the right deductions to get you the best possible results without getting an IRS letter? So that's why I give it the Ginza knife theory.
Wow. Truly, truly priceless information there. One of the things I wanted to wrap up around here is you have a course, the Ultimate Business Launch Package. Tell us what that is and what does a client receive if they were to do that? How do they 20 to 30 times their income with less stress and capital?
Well, part of it is our class is going to show you, like I said, is when you're working with our team, we're going to make sure that you're paying less. We're going to make sure and when you work with us right now, anybody who worked with us, who took the class, they're not going to get any late fees because our team has already taken care of it for them. Okay. You're not paying if you're in states like California, New York. I don't know what the heavy corporate taxes is in Montana where you're at, but I know that, Oklahoma, they whack you. New York, they whack you. Cali, they whack you. So other than those 5 states with no state income tax, you don't want to be in those states. So that alone, you're going to 20 and 30x. Just think of this. If you're a business owner, okay, right, and your company makes $30,000, okay, I'm not saying 230,000. That's not unreasonable. Correct, Miss Donna? Right. 30 to 40,000. Right. Well, if you're in Cali, that's 15%. How much did I save you? By you working with us in just 1 year, in the second year, we don't charge those kind of rates. But in just 1 year, you've already gotten more money back than you ever paid me. That's what's pretty cool. Just by you not filing your corporate return in those states with state income tax. Wow. The fact you got somebody that knows the deductions. Okay, because I know most people don't know the deduction. Okay, I'm sorry, you're CPA, EPA, full disclosure, I have 0 initials, but I worked with over like 25,000 business owners. And can I knock on my desk? Nobody got a letter because I'm a screw up. Never. Now tomorrow, but as of this thing, nobody's
ever. As of this moment,
because I make sure that I don't do stupid shit. Sorry to put it that way. I know this is PG, but I'm sorry. I'll make sure that you're not there. And that's why you're going to 20 and 30 extra income. Because you're going to make sure you pay on time. You're not paying late fees to these idiots. And late fees is money in your pocket, correct, Donna? That you shouldn't have to pay. Well, that's what we coach on. That's what I preach.
So how do we get in touch with you, Albert, for you to look at our taxes, make sure we're filing right? Maybe we're in one of those states where we need to transition to a different state. How do we get in touch with you?
Here's what I'm going to do. Because, Miss Donna, you're cool and I love your people. See, somebody's going to give a tax opt-in, but it's okay. I'm going to give you my office number. See, we have a real office, 1800 West 68th Street in the Miami area, that I'm going to give everybody my office. Okay. And you're going to get a 20-minute free consultation direct with a live human being that does not have to go through a Calendly link. How's that one, Miss Donna?
I like it. it.
You go to 305-823-9228.
Okay.
That's to our live. Or you can email us at info@1040w2.com.
So
And
info at W2.
1040w2. Now, Miss Donna, what do you think we do for a living? I built a business. See, I started with $10. $10, everybody, back in 1985, after my mama told me I had to pay the government. And I said, never again. So I'm on a mission to help all you healers. Because guess what? When you got the IRS issues healed, you now can do whatever you want. And I'll guarantee you, and here's a quick stat, that like 60% of most business owners felt they overpaid the IRS. Or you're stressing out when you get the tax bill. Well, when you're working with us, you don't have those issues because listen, full disclosure, Miss Donna, if these people, deposited, 900,000, okay, and I get you down to 200, you're gonna have to pay tax. No, I'm not arguing. So don't, but I'm gonna make sure you didn't pay on that 900. So if you have to pay money, but you understand my argument, but you're going to pay less. And that's what we're here for. I will guarantee you will get the best service at the best price or your money back. No questions asked.
All right. You guys heard it here first at the Healing Heart Podcast. Reach out to Albert. It's truly amazing with what he can do with taxes, what he can save. He knows all the tricks, and all of the different hacks for you to keep your money with you. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, a healer, an author, maybe a speaker, just reach out, and his business number and his email address will also be in the show notes. So all you guys have to do is click there and send an email or dial the phone and get straight to him for that 20-minute consultation. So Albert, thank you so much for being a guest here with the Healing Heart Podcast.
By the way, thank you for having me on. Because, guys, let me tell you something. She's A1. Her heart. See, by the way, Miss Donna, can I make one more quick comment?
Yes, absolutely.
A bigger heart. Because when you see her in person, or I talk to her more than I talk to my wife, usually 3 or 4 times a week, we're ended up somewhere together. So your heart should be bigger on that podcast. Sorry to put it that way.
Thank you.
And outline so they can see how big your heart is.
Oh, thank you. So incredibly sweet. All right. Well, thank you, Albert. And for all of the rest of our listeners, as always, go create a beautiful day.